Hey fellas, what's up? So, I'm sure by now you've probably already heard that SM is mistreating their Chinese idols yet again. Disappointed, but not surprised. Don't know why I expected SM to get their shit together. We already been knew how they are. But, I've seen a lot of people asking why, because it don't make no sense. So I took it upon myself to do some research and just gonna go ahead and lay it all out for y'all. I'm not saying I know everything in regards to why SM really is treating their idols, shitty, but I did find some things that I thought were interesting and I wanted to share with you all. So, I guess in order to properly discuss this matter, we need to go back to where the bulk of the problem lies. So, we're gonna go back to when North and South Korea were still at odds with each other. So, basically, South Korea had decided to reach out to its ally, the US, for some help. Together with the US, they developed a system called THAAD, which stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, which is basically just a missile defense system that they wanted, to have for just in case North Korea decided to attack them. China wasn't very happy about this as they're very close geographically to North Korea. And I mean, who would be happy if I found out my neighbor had, missiles? I'd be a little bit, scared, pissed off. Like, don't bring that up in my neighborhood. I'm not trying to get shot down. Anyways, moving on. When they found this out, they released a series of angry statements expressing their overall discomfort with the idea, but they really just ignored China and created the missile system anyways. So China being petty was like, okay, bet, like y'all want to play games, we can play games. So China decided to ban all South Korean products. Now this is very detrimental to South Korea because China is a really big moneymaker for South Korea. But anyways, the Chinese public was upset at first, right? Because they can't watch their K-dramas, they can't, have their K-beauty routines set up. But ultimately, they decided to support their country over their favorite forms of entertainment. Now, this is allegedly why WayV was separated from NCT so they wouldn't face any backlash from the Chinese public, like being called a traitor of the country and things like that. Okay, so with that general explanation out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and segue into the more recent matters at hand and start with the problem surrounding Renjun. So, Renjun is a Chinese member of NCT Dream. He's not the only Chinese member, but he is one of the Chinese members. It's very important to note that he's the only member, however, who has never had a solo schedule and for some reason is not allowed to do solo V lives. And apparently, he isn't even allowed to talk. For example, in a V Live where the Dreamies had taken a trip to Jeju Island, Renjun was showing off very happily, might I add, like the baby that he is, some pictures that he took, to the viewers. However, he was told by the staff to stop. But what sparked the most recent wave of anger was their latest V Live where Renjun is not only told to move from the center position, as when he was sitting in between Jisung and Chenlo, but when he begins to talk about Winwin, a member of NCT 127 and of WayV, he is told to stop. Every citizen is angry, fuming, including myself. I'm ready to fight. And we're all asking the same question. Why? Like, SM, sweetie, make it make sense, love. Like, makes absolutely no sense. Especially when you consider Winwin debuted as part of the original lineup for NCT 127. He wasn't added in later. He was part of the original 7 that debuted with Fire Truck. But for what? Why would SM put him there and let him debut if they were going to ignore his existence? So NCT 127 recently celebrated its 3-year anniversary. It's been 3 years since they debuted. And of course, SM put out some merch to commemorate this milestone. However, Winwin didn't get featured on merch, despite being part of the original lineup. He's nowhere to be seen. It's like he never even existed, was never part of NCT 127. Not only that, but SM recently reached out to a reporter who had written an article about NCT 127 to ask to remove the mention of Winwin. Like, what? Huh? And then going back to the V Live with Renjun talking about Winwin, SM took down the V Live, edited that part out, and put it back up, trying to be slick, acting like we're stupid or something that we would not notice. Bro, don't even get me started on his crappy line distributions. SM loves to preach that it doesn't give Winwin lines because his Korean skills are limited. But that doesn't really explain why he's barely seen in music videos or even at the center position of choreographies, despite being labeled as their lead dancer. The way SM treats their Chinese idols is truly disturbing, and using the excuse that tensions are high between the Korean and Chinese government really doesn't make much sense, especially when I see Jackson Wang of GOT7 and Oogie of G-Idol or Idol, however you choose to pronounce it, promoting both in Korea and China. I don't see them being labeled as traitors. So what's the real issue here? The only conclusion that I can come up with is that SM staff is stupid as fuck. But we already been knew that. I'm over SM, really am. It really sucks to see some of my faves going through something like this, especially Winwin, who has been nothing but sweet and kind and is just getting walked all over. Anyways, that's it for today. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye bye.